I don't know how to start this video other than what an amazing game we just witnessed. Go Blue! We did it. I could be smug on here and say to all the Alabama fans who were pretty cocky on this channel that you were wrong, and I will do that. But the lead story is Michigan winning the Rose Bowl for the first time in 17 years and winning a playoff game for the first time ever. And it was against Alabama, a team that snuck in at the 4 spot, which was kind of shitty for Michigan. But no matter, this team can do it all. All right, let's look at some final stats here. Alabama was 3 of 13 on third down. Michigan was only 2 of 11 on third down, so this was a defensive battle first and foremost. And that defensive battle was won by Michigan. 5 3-and-outs, 6 sacks, and 288 yards allowed. And let's not forget the crucial 4th and 3 stop at the goal line in overtime. Michigan wins this game 27-20. All right, I'm going to have to calm down here because I have a lot to go through. This could be a longer video. Wow. National championship bound is Michigan. What a game. Let's relive it, shall we, here in this instant reaction. In the first quarter, Michigan got the ball first because they lost the coin toss. And I thought, oh, man, we wanted to go on defense first. And we sure did. The first play from scrimmage was an interception by J.J. McCarthy at Michigan's 31-yard line. But the defender was out of bounds and came back in. He jumped from out of bounds to make that interception. So it was illegal touching on Alabama. So Detroiters, we got the refs back, or I don't know how. We found a way to get that illegal touching go our way. And that was very, very crucial, very early on in this game. And then on 3rd and 8, though, it was incomplete, so it was a 3-and-out anyway for Michigan, and it was a punt to Alabama's 37. And then, oh man, the sack party started, didn't it? Alabama's first possession, McGregor had a 13-yard sack, and on 3rd and 12, Stewart had an 11-yard sack. And it was amazing. They forced the punt, but Samaj Morgan had a bad day today. The freshman, I don't want to harp on him too much, but man, he muffed that punt in the sunlight and whatever, but that's no excuse. He had other bad plays as well. So he muffed the punt, and Alabama got it at Michigan's 44-yard line. And then on first down, a run by Milroe, and then McClellan had a 34-yard touchdown run. Defense was sleeping there. It was 7-0 Alabama early in this game. But Michigan always has that fight. It's a 4-quarter game. We lean on you. Boa constrictor. And Michigan's second possession, Corum had a 6-yard run and then a 21-yard run. And on 3rd and 8, McCarthy ran for 4 yards. So it was a 4th and 1 scenario. And McCorum got 3 yards on that carry. And then Mullings, the running back, had a 19-yard catch. And then an end around for Morgan for 6 yards. And then Corum had an 8-yard touchdown catch out of the backfield. The game was tied 7-7. It was a 10-play, 75-yard drive in 5 minutes. That's what Michigan can do. They did show some new things, new wrinkles in this game, and I thought they would. And man, did it work. Eventually. Alabama on their next possession was one of them 3-and-outs this defense had. On 3rd and 11, Milroe slid for 3 yards. He slid 3 yards before the first down. What was he thinking? Go get that first down. Dive for it. He slid, and they had to punt. I didn't understand that part. Was he concerned because he got sacked 2 times on the prior possession? I don't know. It was very physical, experienced defense full of grown men. That's right. That's why Michigan won. And then at the end of the first quarter, Morgan did get a first down catch, Samaj Morgan, so he reprieved himself there for that muffed punt. And then Edwards had an 8-yard run, and then there was an unnecessary roughness on Michigan, and of course it was unnecessary. I do not condone what happened there. So to start the second quarter, Michigan still had the ball, and it was a 3rd and 9, and Morgan had a 7-yard catch. And Michigan decided to punt the ball to Alabama's 23-yard line. Alabama had the ball, and Michael Barrett, had an 8-yard sack right up the middle. Nice hold off on the disguised blitz, and he was caught in the chicken coop. Colson had a 5-yard sack, and then on 3rd and 23, Milroe had a 12-yard run. It was a 3 and out, one of them 5 that they had. Michigan's next possession, Orgy came in. And why are we doing this? Why? It just takes away reps from J.J. McCarthy, and the defense knows what he's going to do. If you brought him in and he threw right away, that'd be cool, and it worked. But why do that? And then on 3rd and 6, it was incomplete by McCarthy. He came back in, and it was a 3 and out for Michigan. Alabama then got the ball in the second quarter, and it was a 3rd and 9, and Milroe's run was stopped. So it was the 4th 3 and out for Alabama early by this Michigan front. And back end, of course, nowhere to throw the ball. Michigan's next possession, Corum had an 8-yard run, and Loveland had an 11-yard catch, and then a double pass back to McCarthy, and then to Wilson for 20 yards, and then McCarthy got landed on by a guy, but he got up and he was good. He was all right. He was good to go. Tyler Morris then, right after that, had a 38-yard catch and run up the sideline and had a ringer on the pylon. Touchdown. Touchdown. Man, yeah, Michigan didn't have all these receivers, right? Michigan's receivers are no good, Alabama people kept saying, and others. We have a slew of great wide receivers. All right, let's go on. The PAT was no good, though. So that made it a 13-7 game. Michigan was leading. With 3:49 left, Alabama had the ball, and they took the clock all the way down. And Bond had a 29-yard catch to open up that drive. And on 3rd and 4, McClellan had a 5-yard run. And then Alabama had their first of 3 or 4 penalties. I don't think Michigan had any penalties in this game. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they did. So Rod Moore, though, then the safety for Michigan, had a great pass breakup. Could have been a touchdown. It was definitely going to be a big play. That negated the touchdown for them. Milroe then had a 17-yard scramble right after that, but they didn't get into the end zone. On 3rd and 3, Derek Moore got in on the sack party for Michigan for a 7-yard loss. It was a 50-yard field goal, and it was good for Alabama. He made a couple 50-yarders in this game. 13-10, and with 2 seconds left, it was a kneel down, and it was halftime for Michigan. Total yards at halftime, Michigan led 197-96. So they were 101 yards over Alabama here, and they had the 5 sacks, of course. Might have to take a drink in celebration here. National championship bound. Let's go. To start the third quarter, Alabama got the ball, and Haynes had a first down run for Alabama. Then he had an 11-yard run. They switched it up. They brought this guy in a little bit more. Bond then had an 8-yard screen, wide receiver screen for him. A bad snap then happened for a 13-yard loss, and then another missed snap and a sack for Michigan for 6 yards. Made it 3rd and 29, and it was a 7-yard run, and they punted to Michigan's 13-yard line, though. Michigan on their first possession in the second half had a 3rd and 8. And Cornelius Johnson caught a beautiful ball for 12 yards on the sideline. It was a toe tapper. It was first incomplete. They had to go and review it, and it was good. And then Orgy came in again. Why? God damn it. And he lost yards. Don't bring him in again for the rest of the game is what I was saying at that point, and they didn't. Thank you. But we punted to Alabama's 21-yard line. The third quarter continued here with Alabama having a 3rd and 4 that was incomplete, and it was a 3 and out for them. And Michigan then had a 3rd and 8 that was incomplete. Samaj Morgan with another error. It was a first down. It went right through his hands. This freshman has a little bit of work to do. I was starting to wonder if he was paid by somebody. But nah, I'm not going to harp all that on him. But, get your act together. And they finally pulled him from the punt return later on. Thaw fumbled it, and we have things to work on there. But a win's a win, baby. Alabama ended the third quarter with a Milroe 9-yard run, a Hayes 8-yard run. Then Milroe scrambled for 10 yards. Bond had a 9-yard catch, but then a false start happened right before the half, and no team scored in the third quarter, neither Michigan or Alabama. It was still 13-10 Michigan. But to start the fourth quarter, Milroe had an 18-yard run, and then McClellan had a 3-yard touchdown run. It was 17-13 Alabama at that point, and it was the first time Michigan had a second half deficit all season, I believe. So congrats to Alabama for that. Hey, I can rub it in. We won. You'd rub it in. Bring it. Bring it on. Who's going to win, Texas or Washington? Michigan then got the ball, and it was a 3rd and 9 that they had, and it was incomplete, 3 and out. Punt to Alabama's 32-yard line. Alabama's Prentice had a 13-yard catch. Milroe fumbled, and it was recovered by Michigan at the 49-yard line. That was a huge turn of events in this game, but Michigan did nothing with it because Wilson had a 20-yard catch to start it. But a botched flea flicker led to a loss of 7 yards, and it was 3rd and 17 for Michigan. Morgan had a 7-yard catch, which made it 4th and 10. The field goal was wide left. Turner had a bad one there, and it was still 17-13 Alabama. Alabama had the ball back, and McClellan had a 17-yard run. And on 3rd and 3, Milroe had an 11-yard run. Then a substitution infraction on Alabama led to a 3rd and 9. And McGregor had his second sack of the game, a 5-yard loss. And it was a 52-yard field goal for Alabama, and that was good, as I said earlier. 22-13 Alabama now with 4:41 left in this game. And I was thinking, man, what do we got to do? I left inside, came out to the cold garage. People are inside right now, and I had to get my mind right and get back here where Michigan has won all the games. I've sat right here. Plus, I got my lucky jersey on, and it came to fruition. Man, Corum had a 5-yard run to open up this drive, then a 3-yard run, and it was 3rd and 2, and it was incomplete. But Michigan had to go for it on 4th and 2. And Corum had a 27-yard catch, and there was an illegal block down the field, so it was called. That was called. But it was still a first down for Michigan. McCarthy then had a 16-yard run, and Wilson had a 29-yard catch. Alabama had a timeout trying to preserve time, which at 1:41 left in the game. And then Alabama called another timeout, and Corum had a 1-yard run to Alabama's 4-yard line. Then Roman Wilson had that 4-yard touchdown catch with 1:34 left in the game. It was tied 20-20. We made the extra point this time. Alabama then, Milroe had a 7-yard run. They had time to get this ball and do something with it, but it was a punt eventually for Alabama. Defense rose up again for Michigan. McClellan had a 5-yard catch, so they got a first down, but then on 3rd and 10, McClellan had a 6-yard catch. Michigan then called a timeout to preserve time with 54 seconds left in this game, and Alabama punted, and Thaw fumbled it, but recovered, thank God. And Michigan got the ball, but it was a run from Michigan, and both Alabama and Michigan called a timeout for some reason there at the end of that before JJ took a knee, and this game went to overtime. Wow, what a game, overtime. An overtime win versus Nick Saban, Alabama, SEC, in the Rose Bowl. Michigan's first time ever. Let's go. 3rd time's the charm, baby, in this playoff. Overtime went like this. Corum had an 8-yard run, and then Corum had a 17-yard touchdown run. Man, feed the beast. 27-20 Michigan at that point, and it was on Alabama. Milroe did have a 15-yard run there to get to Michigan's 9-yard line, but then a tackle for loss of 5 yards by Michigan. But then on 4th and goal from the 3, eventually, Milroe was stuffed at the goal line. Michigan wins 27-20. Yes. Hey, if you're out there, like, share, subscribe, and go blue. And stay tuned for the next game. The job isn't over yet. I will have a preview for Michigan versus whoever wins tonight, Texas or Washington. That game will be in Houston. Man, I can't wait. Let's go. I'm losing my voice, so I got to get this over with so I can go celebrate with everyone inside. Yes, we did it. We did it. Beat Alabama anyway. Like I said, job ain't over. Go blue, everybody.